Raymond Loreto Salvatore Patriarca. March 17, 1908. July 11, 1984 was an American mobster from Providence, Rhode Island, who became the longtime boss of the Patriarca crime family, whose control extended throughout New England for more than 3 decades. Patriarca died on July 11, 1984. Early life. Patriarca was born on March 17, 1908, in Worcester, Massachusetts, to Eleuterio Patriarca, an Italian immigrant, and Mary Jane Di Nubile, an Italian-American. At the age of 4, Patriarca moved with his family to Providence, Rhode Island, and left school when he was 8 to shine shoes and work as a bellhop. During his teenage years, Patriarca was charged with hijacking, armed robbery, assault, safecracking, and auto theft. He was indicted as an accessory to murder before Prohibition's end in 1933. During the 1930s, the Providence Board of Public Safety named him Public Enemy Number 1. He was sentenced to 5 years in prison for robbery, but he was paroled in 1938 after serving 4 months in prison. An inquiry revealed that Executive Counselor Daniel H. Coakley, a close associate of Governor Charles F. Hurley, had drawn up a parole petition based on the appeals of a Father Fajan, whom Coakley had fabricated. Coakley was impeached and dismissed from the governor's office. This scandal enhanced Patriarca's reputation in the underworld, as it demonstrated the power of his political connections. In 1939, Patriarca married Helen G. Mandela and had a son, Raymond Patriarca Jr. Rise to power. During the 1940s, Patriarca continued to rise in power. In 1950, mobster Philip Bucciolo fled the country to avoid prosecution for tax evasion, and Patriarca took control of his criminal operations. In 1956, Patriarca made drastic changes in the crime family, the biggest being to move his base of operations to Providence, Rhode Island. He ran his crime family from the National Cigarette Service Company and Coinomatic Distributors, a vending machine and pinball machine business on Atwells Avenue in the Federal Hill neighborhood of Providence. Every card game, prostitution ring, and illegal business in Providence had to pay a kickback to Patriarca. Patriarca's reign as leader of the New England Syndicate was rumored to be brutal and ruthless. In one incident, he allegedly ordered an elderly mobster to murder his own son, after Patriarca lost a substantial amount of money on a bad deal. The father pleaded for his son's life, so Patriarca exiled him from the family. Patriarca's underboss Henry Tainleo also persuaded him to relent. In another incident, Patriarca demanded that several members of the crime family pay him $22,000 after federal authorities seized a hijacked shipment of cigarettes that he had financed. He allegedly ordered the murder of his brother for failing to notice an electronic surveillance device placed in his office by federal agents. He allegedly ordered the murder of several members of the McLaughlin Gang during the Irish mob wars between the Charlestown Mob and the Winter Hill Gang. This occurred when Bernie McLaughlin started interfering with Patriarca's loan sharking operations in Boston. Imprisonment. In March 1970, Patriarca and several of his associates went on trial for murder and conspiracy to commit murder, the chief witness being robber and hitman John "Red" Kelly, who afterwards went into the Federal Witness Protection Program. Kelly gave testimony linking Patriarca and other family members to the murder of Rudolph "Rudy" Mafia and Anthony Millet. Kelly had been contracted by Patriarca to kill Mafia. Patriarca and his associates were convicted of conspiracy to commit murder. Associate Maurice Lerner also was convicted of murder. The mob boss was sentenced to 10 years in prison, but he continued to run his family while imprisoned. Lerner and the other defendants were subsequently exonerated when it was established that Kelly had perjured himself at the trial, as had FBI agent H. Paul Rico, who had corroborated Kelly's testimony. Death. Patriarca suffered from heart disease and diabetes for many years. He died of a heart attack on July 11, 1984, at the age of 76. He is buried in Gate of Heaven Cemetery, East Providence, Rhode Island. References. Further reading: Lair, Dick, O'Neill, Gerard, 2000. Black Mass, The Irish Mob, The Boston FBI and the Devil's Deal. New York City, Public Affairs. ISBN 1-8916220-40-1. Matera, Derry, 2003. FBI's 10 Most Wanted. New York, HarperCollins. ISBN 0-06-052435-9. Lair, Dick, O'Neill, Gerard, 1989. The Underboss. The Rise and Fall of a Mafia Family. ISBN 0-312-91731-7. English, T. J. 2005. Patriarca, The Untold Story of the Irish-American Gangster. New York, HarperCollins. ISBN 0-06-059002-5. Fox, Stephen, 1989. Blood and Power, Organized Crime in 20th Century America. New York, William Morrow and Company. ISBN 0-688-04350-X. Kelly, Robert J. 2000. Encyclopedia of Organized Crime in the United States. Westport, Connecticut. Greenwood Press. ISBN 0-313-30653-2. Sifakis, Carl, 2005. The Mafia Encyclopedia. New York City, DeCapole Press. ISBN 0-8160-5694-3. External links: May, Alan. All About the Providence Mob. Raymond L.S. Patriarca. Archived from the original on October 11, 2006. Retrieved March 17, 2020. Peterborough, K., July 8, 2002. Raymond L.S. Patriarca. Organized Crime Figure. Find a Grave. Retrieved March 17, 2020.